Hello and welcome to the live show. We will see how things go here. I have, as usual, decided to change everything, do everything differently for the show. So if you can or cannot hear me just fine, then you know what to do. Let me know in the chat over on the YouTube live stream. I will be keeping an eye on that as things go on. But I can see people coming in from all over the place. Eric, always good to have you here from the USA, and as well as Ivar from Norway. And who else do we have here? Sweden and Hampstead. Peter, not too far away from me. Welcome, welcome. A couple of people from the USA as well. Good to have you here as well. Oklahoma. And let's see, Stuttgart, Germany. I have a few people on the show with me today who are also in that area, I believe. Maybe you're all friends. Sounds good. Excellent. Sounding good. Cool, cool. Any changes, I can make those changes as the show goes on. But I do have two guests with me today, and I'm going to get right to them so we can make sure everything works first, and then we can look back into the chat and see what everyone's up to. So first up, I have a friend of the show who's been on here many times before. Make sure his audio is on here. Jonas, nice to have you here. Thanks for coming.
It's great to be here, and today it's amazing. I have a functioning return multi-view. It's like I see myself, I see John. It's great.
Yeah, typical viewers of the show will know that Jonas has been on here before, but he doesn't always get the best treatment because last minute changes mean that I forget to give him things like a return feed and stuff like that. But today you've got everything you need to see. What do you see in front of you right now, Jonas?
I'm actually joining over vMix, so I see myself, and then I see myself after coming from you again, so I get a program view from you. It's a little confusing if I look at the wrong square, but yeah, it's quite nice.
Okay, don't look at the wrong square then. And additionally, on the show today, first time, I guess I'm going to say long time watcher, but that's probably not true. I don't think he even watches this YouTube channel. But certainly a friend of the community. We have Lucas from Stage Timer. Nice to have you here, Lucas. Hello.
Hey, nice to meet you all. Awesome. Love to be on the show
And a
for the
subtle
first time.
little plug there coming in. I see you're wearing a T-shirt. It looks very familiar.
Yeah. Yeah, Jonas actually told me to put it on, so there you
That
go.
was a good choice. It looks good to me. Whereabouts for people who don't know Lucas, um, where why should we know you, and where are you right now, and why are you not at home right now? Those three questions. Go.
Yeah, so I stumbled into the Discord community because I created a tool called Stage Timer, and John was very helpful, and that's why I was invited. And we do a lot of programming together actually. And I'm not in Stuttgart currently, where I'm actually living, because I'm doing a digital nomad here. So we are sitting in Greece in Athens.
Very, very nice. Sounds good. I have all three of us up here looking good. Jonas, you need to. Yeah, there you go. Now you're looking good. I think I probably should have zoomed in my camera a little bit and would have looked. We would have looked equally as good. But we've got some stuff coming in here. David saying really excited about this, which is excellent. Thanks for being here. Eric says Jonas gives good advice on promoting your brand. Yeah, Jonas has been quite the seller of our products over. There's so many times I stumble into like a random Facebook group, and Jonas is in there saying, "Well, why don't you try H2R graphics for that?" And I'm sure he does the same for Stage Timer here and there.
Oh
I'm almost
yeah,
certain. Let me see.
You
Empty
know, it
chat.
also has the bad side of me. Every meeting we are in, like at least one of you gets like, "Hey, I think I found a bug in your software." So
That's the other downside of
yeah.
it. Every once in a while, you get those messages in here. Nice three up. Super source says Eric. So we can jump into the production side of things later in the show, but today we're using vMix for all of this action. I thought it'd be easier for me. I was totally wrong. It definitely wasn't easier because I never have projects set up for that. I barely use it anymore, and it ended up being a real nightmare to get things set up. But here we are. Everybody can be seen and heard, so that is all that really matters. So what are we going to talk about on this fine show? Well, the plan is that we're going to dig into a project the three of us have been working on for about half a year now or so, hacking it together or working on it, whatever terms you want to use. Oh, good. Good to see Jonas in the chat as well. Hey, should be concentrating on the show instead of messing around in the chat. So we've been working on a project together, and we sort of soft launched beta a few weeks, a month or two ago. Time's a mess now in my head, but we did that over on Discord, and then now we just decided in the last few weeks, why don't we just get it out there, show people what it is, tell them about it, and we can show it off. Do you think, Lucas, did I miss anything in the preamble there?
Yeah, no, it's all fine. Is this the time where we ask each other the essential questions, or we showcase it first?
Well, go for it. Ask an essential question if you have one off the top of your head.
Yeah, so I would ask you, like, why did we three decide to build such a software together? Um, Coming from the background that we maybe have our own softwares and should be busy doing that.
That is a very good question. Actually, you know what? Let's save that question for later, because I think once you see the software or what we're up to,
Okay.
then yeah, that was a good question though. But we'll save that, I think. So, without much further ado, I think we will introduce the whole world that's watching along to our new project, Missing Links, which you can check out already. There's a link in the video description below this video. And I should have put a link in the chat as well. Maybe I can do that while we chit chat about it here. But this is a quick look at missinglinks.io, which is the main page for it. And I will just drop a link in the chat right now. You can go over there and check it out for sure.
Does sound like we're looping our audio somewhere.
Oh no.
So it took us only weeks to agree on this name, just for context.
Usually it takes a lot less time than that. Let's solve a leak or a looping audio before I go any further. See what I'm doing wrong. I can't see anywhere that audio would be looping. I can only see it once on my meters, but it is doubled right now.
It might only be the specific scene that you were on, and maybe because you imported the Blackmagic input again. It's only you who seems to be looped.
You're absolutely right. That's exactly what it is. Audio is playing on my laptop. Okay, cool. Let's get back to it. It's good that we fixed that. If I go back to this again, you should only hear me once now, I'm hoping, because I have successfully muted my computer. Thanks for all the...
Yeah, I only hear it once now.
Excellent. Jonas Diagnostic for the win. Thanks for that. Yeah, I did make one change. This is, like I said, one change can just destroy it. But best to wait. Okay, cool. So, we're back. Missing Links. Lucas, what did you say? It only took us how long to come up with this name?
Weeks.
Weeks.
Like,
yeah,
we met a few times, right? Discarded a lot of names.
That is slow in our world. In fact, I'm just going to go straight to this website here and look at it real big. You can explore this in your own time, but it gives you a glimpse of what Missing Links is all about. What we wanted to build was a tool that made it super easy for you and your team to share assets, to share files, to share links, to share chat between each other, to share, well, just about everything else that we can imagine right now. And the whole idea behind it would be super simple from, I need to move this file from here to here, and I want it to happen as fast as possible. Many of us have been on jobs where you're out on the field and all you really want to do is move a PowerPoint from your Mac to these 4 PPT PowerPoint running computers that you have set up for your big displays. And the options are, well, I guess endless, really. There are so many different ways you could do it. You could log into Dropbox on all of those and send the file that way. You could grab USB pens and one by one go to each computer. I could probably spend the rest of this live stream listing different ways that you could do this stuff. But our plan for this tool was simplifying all that stuff, cutting it right down to a simple website and a 6-digit code. And in fact, if I go back over to the site here, and we'll get into this a little bit later, but the idea being, if you have a 6-digit code that you generated a project, then you can just type it right in here to the top, gets you straight to the project, and you can go from there. What I did,
yeah, maybe I can.
Oh, go ahead, Lucas.
Sorry, maybe I can add to that. So our question was, often if you're on a new machine or on a client machine, you don't have a way to send yourself information, right? What do? Do you log into Discord? Do you log into Skype? What is the ways that you send yourself information? So we wanted to make sure that you only need a 6-digit code, which is easy to memorize, easy to type in quickly, to access all the stuff that you need, right? You go to any machine, go to this website, put in this code, you have access.
Oh, precisely. You're absolutely right. I was just fixing my audio in the background there. I think I'm a little bit quieter than the rest of you coming in, so I should be a bit better now. And I can adjust. Let me know in the chat if it needs more. Yeah, so you're absolutely right. The simple is one of our big things, but fast and easy should be pretty possible as well. All right, so I've actually created a project that we used for preparing this live stream today, since this is actually what it's become for me as well, is a place to put all of my similar notes and links and give it to somebody and show them this is what you need to know for this live stream. It is a very simple one today because we're not doing a huge amount of stuff for this particular live show. But I created this project called my main demo project, very aptly named. And in that, I added a few things for these two lovely guests I have on the show today. The link to the live stream, just in case they wanted it, a thumbnail that they could use on social media or whatever they wanted to use on. And then in the notes section, we've also added lots of other stuff that are important to this particular call. I think I can probably zoom in just a little bit so you can see it a bit better on the stream. But in here, I've added sort of location, timing, and then a little checklist of things that we will chat about during this call today, or this show today. I'm way too used to being on calls, unfortunately. Good. Audio much better now. Thank you so much for that. Nice to hear. So where to begin in the long list of things that you could do in here? I guess I'll start from my features to discuss. So I can upload files and add links. That's the way we've sort of designated these two sections here. So I could add a file to anything that I have on the computer here, and it'll upload and be available to other people. Or I could add a link. Perhaps I could just add a link to missing links. Let's see, could this inception of links break everything? We'll find out. So if I add a link in there, then you can see that shows up, and I have a new link in my my project. I can visit if I want. I can rename it if I want to. And what you just saw there is a little preview popped in, which is really nice. So it takes a few seconds just to grab a preview, but it runs off to the website, captures a preview of that, and then returns it in here, so you can actually see what you're going to click on before you click on it. And I could upload files and all that stuff, text files, PowerPoints, anything that's on my computer, like I said, or anything I wanted to give to other people. And there we go. Something else just popped in there. A subtle plug. Thank you so much for that. Subtle plug from our friends over at Stage Timer. I wonder who added that. Lucas, did you add that in there?
So I wanted to demonstrate, so we all have access to that one, that it works really well. So if I upload a file, it immediately pops up on your screen as well. So you don't have to reload.
Which it did, and I can download that myself from my screen as well with the download option. In fact, let me just launch into how people could not change this, but to see what's in here. So let me just go back to the computer screen, and what we've done is added this invite codes section up at the top here, and you'll notice the two codes pop up right now. One that I'm being very careful not to hover over, because if I was to hover over this box here, spoiler alert, it will show a 6-digit code that if you entered that 6-digit code, you could jump in there and edit these images just like the other two are doing right now. I can see them in the background there. You can see them out of focus typing here, messing around. But that's because I've given them this view and edit permission here. Oh, so yeah, it was almost too late there. But for you watching along, all our friends at home there, they can use this 6-digit code instead, or this link that you could send to your guests or anyone that you wanted to be on your team. You could send this 6-digit code or link to them, and they can access it in view only mode. And in fact, feel free, if you are if you're watching along live or after the fact, then do it, no problem. You can view only this link and then hop in here and we can see other people. So actually what I can see already is that 7 users have logged in, and unless all of us have logged in multiple times, that should be some of you logging in that saw that code there. If you didn't catch it, then you're too late. But it's not like you can do much in there. You can just pop in and and see what we've added in here and take a look. In fact, I think, yeah. So on my other tab here, I have the same project open, but I'm in view only mode, which means that all I can do is visit the links and download the assets and files, and I could even download the stage timer logo, Lucas, and print it out on my own T-shirt. Is that your plan? So people can do that. Beautiful.
If they so like. So adding some context, one of like we wouldn't have Jonas in the team if security wasn't the question, right? So from the beginning, we wanted to make it very easy to access, but also very secure. Hence these two codes, the view only and the view and edit code. So if you give out the view only code to people, you can be completely sure that they cannot change anything. They can just access the information. So we have this very clear separation of roles by giving people separate codes.
Precisely. That is a perfect way to put it. Thank you for that. And just a little chime in here with a $2 from Camilla saying SM7B fund for Lucas and Jonas. Lucas, I think you have one, but or sorry, Jonas has one, but Lucas, we should get you. That's we got $2 towards that. So we'll get there.
You know, I
So
do
what-
actually have one, and I tried to find it earlier, but with all the gear around me and the different interfaces that I'm testing, it's I have no idea where I put my SM7B. But I think the Wave DX is a nice mic. It just needs a little love on the EQ.
I'm gonna just show this code again because I think I was too quick to show it before. So you're welcome to join back in again. The code, if you're wanting to get in here, is 558480. I feel like I'm on a
So you go to missinglinks.io and you type it into the code place.
precise.
And I want to add, once you typed in the code, it will actually disappear. So if you look at the browser bar that you see right now in his browser, it's not there. The code is not there anymore. It actually forwards you to the actual space ID or project ID, and which means you can share your link, you can share your screen, and you don't give anything away. Right, just how John is doing it. And it also means that if you reload your page, it kind of remembers the code in the background and will still give you that you have.
Precisely. So that's how you would sort of distinguish between a team member perhaps that has that ability to read write, and then a guest coming in there just taking a look. And we have some fun plans in the future. We don't have to get into those today, but some fun plans in the future on how to expand that further in a way that gives us more options for people tuning in and using those links. But for now, we're sticking with view and edit for teams probably, or contributors, and then view only for, it's perfect for this live stream today actually, so I can send out that link, show you an example without causing any headaches with people messing with their comments. In fact, back over to the example here, what you can see, and if my host or co-host help me out here, you can see that I have my own little name, John, down at the bottom. I've just added John in there, and then I can type some stuff in here which will change the text in the box here. And you can also see Jonas there, who's typing potentially some stuff. It looks like you're in there a few times, which is fine. And Lucas is typing behind Jonas as well.
Yeah, somehow I managed to clone myself while doing that. That might be a side effect of missing links.
I like it. Let me just launch into some questions that are coming in already before we get any further here. Eric says, well, it's not quite a question, but this is like unintended sharing of stream keys. Exactly. If you've ever accidentally clicked on a UI that doesn't hide the stream keys, and if you're streaming yourself, then sharing that is terrifying. So one of the things we were pretty keen to do was make it quite hard in these demos that we're going to show off this tool on these live streams. Make it pretty hard for people to even use that code. And the same applies if you're out on a job somewhere. You don't necessarily ever want to see the code over your shoulder and then head in there and start messing with your assets and stuff like that. Okay, question. Oh, sorry, go ahead, somebody. Jonas?
Yeah, and it also brings up a good point of like multi-level like security clearances, like, because right now everyone sees everything, and one of the things that we could see implementing later down the road is that you could say, hey, this code should only get access to this section or only get access to this. So only like certain engineers get access to the stream keys, and not all producers have access to the influencer stream keys and features like that.
Absolutely. Nicely said. Let me see if we've got some more questions here. Guy Cochran wants to know what happens if a hacker starts trying at 000000 and working the way up. Who wants to cover that one?
I can talk about that.
Go for it.
So one of the things that we put in from the start is there's a clear separation between projects and access codes. So every project has 2 access codes, but these access codes can be disabled, redone at any point in time. So there's a couple questions around the like, oh, it's only 6 digits. There's a couple things that are planned for later down the road. Think of it like maybe like a waiting room, like you have it with Zoom, where someone needs to let you in. Things like that to also add more security or require a login, force a login, require like a certain email domain. There's a lot of things we can add, but from the infrastructure, from the like database, we have a project, and that project has codes to the project. And yes, if a hacker tries to start at 6 zeros and works itself up, I just tap a little calculator. They have like 531,441 options that I can try, and obviously, since we use 2 codes per project, it's only half of that, so it's like 250,000. But as we open up access to this more, we'll add more security measures to protect you from simple attacks like that.
Yeah, right now it is static, but code-wise, they are made to expire and only live for a short while and then be gone. And then you have to reissue a new code.
Precisely. Yeah, that would be the idea, definitely. Like codes can live on in the future, but it's a lot of numbers. I think one forgets how many possibilities are in 6 digits. Okay, I got more questions.
Yeah, and like,
go ahead.
It's also like our infrastructure is not like. There's the same problem with YouTube. So, example, if you take YouTube video IDs, and some people calculated when they will run out and things like that, and YouTube actually put out an update to how unlisted videos work, because their generation was not quite as random as it was needed for certain security measurements. We just use the standard, the industry standard for randomness, and the good thing is that for us it's not coupled. So for us, the codes have nothing to do with your project. So at any point in time, we can just disable that code, make sure that no one gets access to your project without login. So you will have at some point have very granular control of who you want to get access to.
Precisely. Lots of thoughts on that then. Expiring access codes work for me, says Eric. Slightly off topic, Andre says, wearing the same t-shirt as you today, Lucas. So, got another +1 for Stage Timer t-shirts. There's a few out in the wild. And then Christopher asks, cool concept, question, will there be a login so users can see all the projects they're working on, or easy way to bookmark links? Lucas, what do you think? Should we have that?
I think we should have that. I think we should have that yesterday. Does it need time to code and implement? Maybe. So that's the reason why we don't have it.
Yeah, exactly. That's one of the big things. That's definitely on top of the list for sure. Even today, I think I wanted access to a project, and you do have to keep track of the projects. Right in the current form, you got to keep track of your projects until we add that authentication layer. But for sure, it's something we definitely want to add in there. But good question. Good to at least ask and make sure. One more question on security I'll give this to you, Jonas, before we head into other things. Alan says, could you just have an option to make the code alphanumeric for additional security?
Yes.
Easy answer to a good question. I will keep track of more questions as they come in, so please feel free to do that. And we can go back over to the computer here so I can show you more things. All right, someone's been very kind to me here and has been updating the features to discuss section. upload files and download, upload files and assets has been added in there. And what else? Share invite links is good. And we've also chatted as a team, which is also good. And I've also talked about, oh wait, have I just talked about everything? This is perfect. Let's just end the stream there. Thanks for watching, everybody. Good to have you all here. No, I don't think we're done there. What else? So the notes section, you will notice, if I go back to that actually, is you can be a bit excessive in there when it comes to some formatting, which is really nice. At first it was just a plain old text box, but one of the things we were really keen to get in there was a way of formatting stuff and making the most of it. So you'll notice that you can change things into headings and bold and italic. A lot of the keyboard shortcuts that you might be used to from other tools like Discord and all that stuff all work nicely in here, as you might expect them to. And like I said before, you can see when people are typing and what they're saying, like hello from Athens here. I assume that was Lucas that said that and not Jonas, unless you're both there. I see a yes in the background, which is really cool. And I really like that. The chat alone, or it's not really chat, sorry, the notes section alone is a huge part for me, because sometimes you just don't want to add links to the main section. Or for example, if you want to add a stream key, you could do that real quick and then jump over to another computer and then copy paste that stream key into whatever tool you're using, and then just delete that completely out of the notes section in like a quick little 1-2 copy paste exercise. I'm certain that people will find many use cases for just the notes section, never mind the assets as well, which is cool. And we have 21 users on our watching along in the notes section as well. Luckily, we turned on the cannot override if you're just viewing stuff. That helps a lot. John saying here, I love the fact that it's real time. That is really nice. So if you're over there and you're watching all the people flood into it and chat, it makes for a nice little experience for sure. Question coming in here from Mateus. Good to have you watching along. Where is the data stored? And this is something I could have guessed would have been asked in this initial chat about it. So where is the data stored? Look,
we found this rare server in North Korea.
Yeah, go on.
No.
Make people less nervous.
So one of the reasons why we have 3 people working on this and why this has taken so much time is we use a lot of standard measures. It's not like we use any of the Google services. We don't make auth easy. We really, and it's a lot of it is me, so I'll blame myself for that. We really try to make this hard for ourselves, so it's hosted on our own servers that are in AWS, but right now we have our server in Frankfurt. It's not like a hosted database. It is a database that also lives on the server from AWS. We have R2 for data storage, since that's which is actually a really cool story, because we started out with Amazon's S3 data storage, and then we switched over to the newly announced Cloudflare R2. And I know we all were in a call, and suddenly I was like, the migration is done, and was kind of fantastic that all worked out. But one of the things that within using standard protocols like the S3 protocol for uploads, it's more or less simple Node.js app, we have the ability to abide by whatever jurisdiction we want to abide. Like, let's say we want to have a version for Europeans that only stores data in Europe, which we can't right now guarantee with the upload of files to R2. We could use something like Ionis's S3 compatible store. So like it has compatibility built in by using standardized protocols and not writing our own things everywhere. So yeah, I could also totally see if you're really worried at some point that we allow you to have your own little S3 compatible server and just tell us the IP address and we'll upload it to there. You give us back the URL that we should show, and that's it. So there's a lot of compatibility built in. Like I said, it took a really, really long time to build the backend and build the data infrastructure to be able to deal with questions like that. Even if we might not have them handled greatly yet, we have stuff built in to handle them even better in the future.
Absolutely. Yeah, as Jonas says, it was as much of the development time was conversations about this kind of stuff, because we've all at this point heard these same questions on other projects already. So starting with that in mind is was the best decision, definitely. There's more questions coming in here than I've ever had on a live stream, so I'm taking that as a good sign, and I'm also asking all these same people, where are you at next week? Keep coming back to the live stream and asking questions about all this stuff. I love it. Let's see. IT Never Gets Old says, what are the storage limits involved currently? And just to follow up on a separate question IT Never Gets Old asked a little bit later was, are you planning to monetize this? I think, Lucas, those two things go nicely together. What do you think?
Sure, sure. So, first question. Currently, we limit it to 5 MB, not just because we don't want to have our storage space flooded and pay a lot of money for it. And the idea is to have a pro premium package that allows for bigger storage spaces, and later on we will definitely add features that will be paid only. Yeah, this is definitely a plan. But I think kind of in the spirit of what John is doing, what I'm doing with Stage Time as well. We do always want to have some kind of freemium, some kind of free package that is definitely enough if you just need it for your production and just need to hand stuff around. Except, of course, if you have that one PowerPoint that is like 200 MB because somebody that didn't optimize their pictures, well, then gotta upgrade.
The one I worked with the other day was, I think it was 10 gigabytes, the PowerPoint. So we're not going to support that file today. But
Yeah.
for the right subscription or whatever, 10 gigabyte files. Yeah, you never know. Let's see, more questions. Jonas, what do you think? Andy asks, is it open source and is it possible to self-host it? Obviously not currently, but something for discussion.
Like I said, so the code that we have written is not open source, and we won't for the foreseeable future open that code up. And also that makes it really hard to make it self-hostable. But what we could do is, since we use all these standardized protocols like Postgres, SQL, S3, just standard HTTP calls, we could allow you to host all the integral pieces like that host the database and only have the control and admin UI on our end. So there are ways to self-host it. We don't have any of them right now, but like I said, we build on an extensible architecture that allows us to add features like that in the future or for enterprise customers.
Precisely. A lot of what we're at right now is the early sort of, let's say easy entry features,
Yeah.
and we have a list as long as any other to-do list of ideas that we already have. And I guarantee you, after this live stream and the chat that's coming in, the questions, that list will grow before the stream is over, undoubtedly. Chris wants to know, how secure is this for using with clients' confidential documents? Jonas, I guess that kind of springs on from previous.
Just don't use it with confidential documents. I mean, it is as secure as you make it. Like, yes, there's a 6-digit code. Someone could guess it if you upload like highly confidential documents and someone tries to get in, and they have the budget to spin up like 5,000 servers that then just ping our server with all possible codes. Yes, someone could get in. That is, if you need to transfer highly confidential documents, this is not the tool for you right now. But you wouldn't also want to upload that to something like WeTransfer, right? So think of it more of like a public-ish WeTransfer, and we allow you to like store links and store stuff, but you shouldn't upload confidential things right now. Especially imagine you lose your write code and suddenly you can't even remove stuff or change stuff. That would be horrible. So that's things where, as we get closer to like user management and encryption and all the features that require to have a user account. That's where you get closer to are you okay to upload confidential documents?
That is a very succinct answer to say. Don't
Yeah,
don't
let me
assume.
add one thing.
Please.
We specifically decided to fall on the side of ease of use, or not on the side of confidentiality and security. So, so what Jonas said, right? Maybe later with features, but not now.
Precisely. Great. I covered that question. Okay, Ryan asking something that we've all been thinking this whole time as I sit here getting blinded by my own screen. Late to the party, but will there be a dark mode? Try not to light up the control room. I can answer that by saying I spent too much time on one of our sort of work days trying to dark modify, and then I just decided, you know what, I'll get to this eventually. But I can't guarantee a feature, but I'm telling you, right up there on my list is nice dark version. Anyone against that on the team?
I mean, is it really an app if there's no dark mode, you know?
That's true. Yeah. Have you really succeeded at anything if there's no dark mode? So don't worry, Ryan. We'll work on that specifically for me and you, and anyone else who wants it. Here's one, Lucas, for the two of us. Christopher says, will missing links also work with Dashmaster 2K? I see a situation where someone might need to see files added in a dashboard situation. What do you think, Lucas? Will we interrupt the two? I don't know. What do you think?
Everything works with Dashmaster 2K. Everything. We'll
I'm
make it
very
work.
confident. Yeah, everything except for if you try something and it doesn't work. But yeah, absolutely. I can confirm this works because of a test I did the other day, and that test failed, and since then we fixed that to make it work. So if you had asked this and we hadn't tried that like a few days ago, then it probably wouldn't have worked until we fixed it.
We meticulously test our own services just to make sure that they work.
Precisely, which we did. Ryan says thank you. Well, I appreciate that, Ryan. Dashmaster 2K is the one ring to rule them all. Nice, Eric. We should put that on the landing page. Let me see. IT never gets old. Asking, I think, a very important question here. Something we've definitely talked about a lot as well. How are you going to handle the transfer of potentially illegal materials?
I think don't is a good answer there. We won't handle transfer of potentially illegal materials. You're not allowed to upload potentially illegal materials. And I don't think that's a process that we're going to discuss publicly right now.
That is absolutely fair. But yeah,
we have talked about it. We have talked about it.
We have a little. Let me see. Any plans to use JS Crypt? Asks Andy. Coming in with all the technical questions here, Andy. I appreciate it. I'm not familiar with it myself. JS Crypt.
So we can add a lot more security before needing to encrypt everything, because at some point we need to decrypt it to show it to users. And if we just like decrypt it, like give a 6-digit code that gets you the decryption key and then use JSCrypt to decrypt it, there's not much security added. So at the point where we have more security added, like user accounts or waiting room, that is more than the 6-digit code, I think that's the point where we're also going to look into encryption of the data and more security measurements.
Precisely. That's where we're at. And again, let's be 100% clear that what we're at right now is a point where we want to show it to people, get people using it, get feedback from you. So if you are willing to join us over on Discord, there's a link below all these videos to join the I'm Here to Record Discord server, and you'll see a section or a channel specifically about missing links in there, where we're gathering all this feedback and wanting to hear from people that are using it, whether it's going well or not so well for you. We want to hear all these things, and we'll do our best to answer as many questions in there as possible. But yeah, that's where we're at right now. Is early days definitely, but still a product that we wanted to get out there and share with people.
I would like to answer with a counter question, actually. So we're getting a lot of security and encryption based questions here, which I didn't expect. My question would be, what is kind of your use case? Just describe it. Like, we would add what people need, right? Like the more people need it, the more it will be important on our list. So go to the Discord or like even in the YouTube comments, just like share with us what is kind of your use case that you have in mind, why this encryption is necessary, or like what, yeah, well, kind of why you're asking the question. Maybe is my question.
Yeah, that's fair. And I think you're absolutely right. A lot of people asking about security, and I think one of the things to keep in mind is while we sort of launch this live and chat about it, we are also quite keen to keep this light for the purposes of illustration today. But if we are able to talk specifically about more detailed discussions like this, or maybe there's just things that we are doing that we're not really wanting to talk about, so that it doesn't put us in any situations that we don't want to be in, then we can chat about those offline on Discord. But for now, we kind of just want to show off a cool tool that we built, and then we can figure out all the difficult stuff on our end that we need to figure out before or after this stuff, you know. Calvary Chapel wants to know: is this free? Anybody? Is this free?
Yes.
Yes. It is currently
it's free.
Free. Is that fair to say?
There's a 5 megabyte limit, so just so we don't run up our own server costs.
Precisely.
And there will be a paid plan eventually, but it's free.
Yeah, exactly. That's where we want to be at, is getting people to use it. Try not to keep the limit extremely low for things like PowerPoints and lots of documents like that, or links. Of course, you can add links in there just fine, but for documents and things like that, we wanted to give a pretty fair limit. I think 5 megabytes to keep it in the free plan, and then the idea and eventually would be to turn it into a paid product for us, for sure, because I mean, there's 3 people working on this. We want it to be an active project. We want it to sustain itself as well. So all of that stuff means that we want to find a way to monetize it, definitely. But we're also quite keen on getting people in there, testing. And I think a lot of the stuff that we work on together or separately is a way to get people in there for free, trying stuff out. And then from there, they can bounce off and upgrade it to the paid versions eventually. But today, you know, it's easy.
And I think I can talk for the 3 of us when I say we are not planning to sell your data, and we're also not planning to introduce ads. So it will be just a monetized pro plan eventually.
Something like that, definitely. Let me see. I'm still trying to keep up with the questions here. Let's see. Peter says, it's not quite a question, but in my case, it would be important to not leak participants, times, and locations for projects. And I would say that kind of goes back to what Jonas says earlier. If it's something you're nervous about, for example, putting like a confidential document on a service that you're not entirely sure of, then the best recommendation I can give you is don't put that document or details on a service that you're not entirely sure of, because you might trust us 3, which is great, but it's up to you to put that stuff on there, and always good to be safe either way. And Christopher saying, security is not a big deal for me. I would use this for live events, and if it works well and a paid option comes for videos, then I could see this, but yearly plans would be nice. Thanks for that, Christopher. I appreciate that. Full rounded thoughts there. That's probably exactly what I was thinking whenever in those early chats about this tool. It's I think you've put it nicely, that I would personally, and have personally, used this for live events already. I had special access to it to test it out myself, so I can have a computer here and 2 computers here that need all the same file on them. It's just a PowerPoint that someone hands me with a welcome slide, and rather than email that round to myself a dozen times and try to log into certain computers and all that stuff, it's so much easier just to go to missing links, create a project, throw the file on there, download it, and away we go. Nice. I think I got to all the questions, and if any more come in, then I'm watching carefully to make sure. What did I miss anything so far, Lucas?
Pretty good. We still have the point of future features, and we haven't really discussed our motivations. Like, why did we even do that, right? With all our other work.
Okay, that's true. That was.
Why do we work together?
I'm going to ask you that question. What? Because it was a good question.
Wait.
But I'm going to give it back to you again. What made us come together to build something like this instead of us just continue working on our own tools? Go for it. Tell me about it.
Right. So we all three of us came to the point where we said, screw this project that I'm building on. It's so much work and it's so much code and it's so much complexity. Let's do something fun together. And that's the fun that we did together. I had a few meetings, decided what do we want to tackle, which problem to solve. We decided for that, and we kind of broke it down, right? We had this big vision, oh, let's do a rundown creator that can do all this asset management. And then we broke it down and said, what kind of the simplest solution that we can build? And then we build it, and then we put it out. And it's, how can I say that? It's sometimes when you're with your head inside your own project for too long, you need something else to build on, especially when you're alone. And I think all of the three of us are kind of building alone on our stuff. Having somebody else to build with, just for maybe 1 day, 2 days, 3 days out of the month, just gives you renewed energy for your own project as well. So it's like double bonus, right? It helps you to build your own thing, and it helps you. It makes it fun to build it together.
I could not agree more. I think that's one of the biggest parts about this is, yeah, we've all been working on our own things and time passes, and suddenly you want that little different exercise. And this is what Missing Links has become for sure, and Dashmaster as well, and other stuff that we're building in our sort of semi, I guess you can't really say it's free time because it is the time when we're typically working, but it's still really nice to get together, problem solve. This is one of the things I've always found about chatting with developers in the same space as we're in, is like we're kind of just solving, the apps may be slightly different, but we're just solving the same problems over and over again. How do I create a user login, to create a project, to create a list of things in that project? Like that's all of our tools basically right now, or some version of all our tools. How do I then add, limits on top of that, and then payment on top of that? So figuring that out for your own project, and then maybe spinning up a second one, or maybe like 5 that I think I currently have running. Eventually it gets to the point where you're just like, I'd love if someone else I come in someday and I check my messages and someone else has already added the user authentication, which was something we definitely want to add. That's what's going to be really nice about this, is that I don't think personally I have to do all the pieces of the user authentication. I'm hoping that, Lukas makes the login screen, Jonas makes the back end part that makes the user be created. I really don't sound like I know what I'm doing here. And then maybe I'll swoop in and change the text size on the username once they're logged in. I think that pretty much sums up my contribution to most of our projects so far. Am I wrong?
Pretty much. So I want to bounce a question back to you.
Yeah.
Right? From all the things we could build, right? Live video editing tools, and we could, remake Companion with a better user interface, so we can build a teleprompter. Why do we build Missing Links?
Why choose this? Well, yeah. I can answer that specifically because this has been a huge pain point for me, and that's where I think that most of my tools, or that's why I know most of my tools have come from. The graphics is because I needed a graphics thing that was exactly what I wanted, and I needed it within a few weeks, and all of the other options were too expensive or didn't do the things I wanted. Gear, because I wanted to visualize some stuff, because I used to draw on pen and paper and it wasn't editable. H2R layouts, because I wanted to make SuperSource layouts in a different way. The list goes on. Of the tools, the problems that I've solved for myself and then made them available for other people. So for me personally, to build something like Missing Links is because I am in pain whenever I am out on jobs and I am looking at my computer here and I'm looking at a Windows laptop here and something else here, and I just want one image to be on all 3 of them, and I've rented this one from someone random, and this one over here belongs to the customer, and like here in the studio, I just Dropbox things to myself, or share things in different ways. But it's just not possible, or not as easy whenever you go out on jobs. So for me, I'm constantly interested in building this project because it solves the problem that I know I will have next time I go out on a job and need files moved around. Now, I'm thinking, Jonas, would that be similar to your reasoning for helping out and working on this?
Yeah, I find it's a really annoying problem. Like even just to copy paste a Zoom link over to another PC, like there's still a lot of Zoom pin farms, and if you have to copy paste a Zoom link around to 15 different PCs, that's pretty annoying. But if you can, especially sometimes you like don't want it to have a like one of the problems that I saw is often you then solve that with, yeah, I'll just log into Discord on all 16 laptops. But that's not really great because like the next tag comes and uses the same stuff, and suddenly you have like all these private accounts on all your machines, and I really don't like that. So one of the reasons for that missing links has at its core is like there should be a way to get stuff onto a machine without a user account that then just vanishes as soon as the project is done. Admittedly, that's one of the things that is still missing, deleting a project. But as soon as the project is done and you can just wipe it and no one else will be able to get those files. And someone is like, oh, what's missing links? Oh, that's pretty cool. And I'll just either see an empty project, they see no project, or they only see it in your browser history. But that really allows you to also work like with rented devices. You don't need to worry about, oh, did I log out of my Gmail at that device? That's kind of like the issue that I wanted to solve. I don't want people logging onto their email to get a Zoom link or like a link to the YouTube video or like a logo that is publicly accessible just for that. And like that's where missing link is like really great. Like we were talking about these use cases of transferring highly confidential data, not today, but maybe in some future. But where it's great, it's like your client is like, hey, can we like, if it's a public live stream, hey, can we get like this logo that's very publicly available from machine A to B, or you need to join a Zoom meeting, or need to get the YouTube video over, or something else. Like that's where it shines. Like transferring public information with a 6-digit code is where it really shines. You can use it for more, but that's like where I really am happy with it, because still like an email, you need to send out an email or give someone a link. It's great for that. And if you like need to transfer something that's more confidential, what I've been doing in the past is like paste it into the notes section where it doesn't get stored on our servers. It just gets stored there, and then you can, well, it does get stored on our servers, but you can, as soon as you delete it, it's no longer stored. So you can paste it there, someone else copies it, and then you erase it, and no one's ever gonna get access to that again.
Precisely. Yeah, that's
So
our
we
reason,
really,
Lucas. Why do you
so
bother?
we, why do I bother? So I understand that we are like really scratching, like our own itch here, especially Jonas and John's itch. And I know that John has like 20 more itches that we could all potentially scratch. I myself actually do not do live um, like video production work, as you can see with my potato cam and my cheap headphones. Um, I'm more the developer side, but I found in the video production crew very nice. I really enjoyed being part of the Discord, and with Sage Timer having kind of a tool that fits into the same community. I love building more tools for that. So I'm really coming from the software and user interface and making a cool tool for people that they can use nicely side, and kind of also the business development side that I really enjoy doing.
Yeah, I'd just like to apologize for Lucas's microphone situation. Next time we'll fix that. I should have said that at the start of the show. Apologies.
And I think the chat brings up like a good point, like a perfectly great use case that someone is like, share like here. Alan posted, it's a real pain point. run into in most events and would definitely use this to share decks and event codes and WeTransfer links that is semi-public anyway. That's like exactly what what like we have in mind. If you work on like highly secure shows and like transferring confidential files, I mean, you know better, hopefully know better than uploading them to some random web service, and maybe will become not a random web service where you can upload files anymore and have all that security built in. But that's not what we are right now. We are a tool that is really great at transferring public to semi-public information with a 6-digit code and a bunch of it. So like, yeah.
Exactly. You put it nicely. I agree. I quite like this one from Christopher here saying, the explanation for missing link makes total sense. At the beginning, I was like, I'm not sure. I'm putting a quote in there, but now I can totally see myself using this, and I think that speaks exactly to where we're at in the process here, where we have a little bit of a marketing page under works, and we want people to see what it's useful for, but we're not quite explaining it just yet in the perfect way. We jump on this live stream to chat about it, to get people using it. What I'm really keen on for this and for other tools is to see, okay, what have people mostly been using it for, so then we can reflect that back and say, here's what you might want to use it for. If the marketing and the landing page end up just being like, quickly share Zoom calls around the links, then that's what people use it for, and that's what we know we can describe it as perfectly. But we're definitely getting there and finding these words as we chit chat about it and see how people want to use it and the questions being asked.
And here's where the genius of the name comes in. Okay, so you hear missing links and it's like, what the hell is that? And then you check it out or you get it explained, and then I ask you tomorrow the name of this tool, and you will remember it.
That's a great challenge.
Like I told my wife, like, oh, we are building missing links. Like, what is this? What a bad name. And then I ask you tomorrow, and you remember that name. It's a good name.
Funny.
I ask her the next day, and she remembered the name, so it's a good name.
That's good.
I mean, it's also like, where would you find links that you like quite not have access to? Some people would say they're missing. Like, where do you find those again? It's
yeah. We can, maybe there's some stretching here to make it work, but I love it. It definitely does work. At first it's like, what are you talking about? And then it really ingrains into you as the more you use it. Lots of great thoughts about 6-digit codes and stuff like that, which is, I'm just going to skim by right now, but I like it. There's many different ways we can go down that direction, putting different URLs in there to make this code even bigger, or put some letters in there if I really want to. So we'll solve all that. I wouldn't worry too much there for sure. And I like this burn after reading is also a neat one. So you got one chance to
I do feel like we need to have like a ticking bomb though. Like you open it up and it's like slowly with a burn effect from the left and like a timer ticking down. I feel like that's a front end issue to like, I'll serve you the data and then you two just make it burn away. That would be fun.
That's good. Christopher here helping
piece by piece. Every link like one by one is going to
just disappear slowly, right? Christopher helping us here. The way I would explain it is that missing link is a temporary server for events and productions for assets and links you would need for that event, and that's exactly right. That is entirely how I'm considering it. I get there, I'm going to be there for 2 days. I create it on day 1. I put everything in there, and then at the end of the day 2, I'm done with it. I'll never look at that again. Maybe the bomb has exploded by then, or I just never look at it again, and I don't care about that project. So absolutely.
Copy that for our marketing page, please.
Perfect. We'll have a little illustration in there too, I'm sure. Peter, great idea. I'm really hoping this will grow and become a secure solution as well. Thanks, Peter. Good to hear. And as always with these fun projects that we're working on this side, just giving us feedback, using the tools, giving us thoughts and feature enhancements, and then eventually helping support the tool when the time comes as well. All that stuff will help us out a lot as things grow. Alrighty. It turns out that I had less to say about the tool and more to say about the Q&A along the way. I'll check in one more time. Jonas, anything you think I missed that I should delve into at the last minute of the show here?
You know, maybe there's like some hidden link within this video that we somewhere placed that you like could get some like 50% off coupon codes of our tool, and everyone is right. Like there, you could just guess like a random ID, like I don't know, 965200, and hope that there comes something up. So yeah.
Yeah, cool. There was a little Easter egg that we didn't chat about there. We showed pretty early in the show, and I believe, some people find their way down that Easter egg hole. Is that right?
Yeah, there's some people that found it, and
cool.
Yeah,
that's good. That's a good sign. Lucas, anything that I missed that we should chat about before we wrap things up?
No, amazing. It was awesome. Thanks for having me with my potato cam.
You're very welcome. Where might people on your other projects, where might they find you, Lucas, and where should we send people towards other than missinglinks.io?
Yeah, so John and I have another project together, which is called Dashmaster 2K. Name was created in literally 20 seconds and has stuck. And so it's a great one that we work together. Support us there. Then another one that I'm building myself is called Stage Timer.io. It's like a live countdown time that you can share over the internet. Right now, I'm building a offline version, kind of like a companion, right? You can download it, start it locally, get like this local version that you can even share links on your local network. Be nice. So that's where you find me. And if you want to hear me joking about business and stuff, you can find me on Twitter at _LHerman.
Very good. What about you, Jonas? Other than this project, where might people find you at?
I also do the Playout B and whole B suite of Playout B, Info B. We have some icons now, and we also have our own Discord server, and then I'm often also around on John's Discord server.
Always good to have you there, answering questions before I get a chance to, which is good. Yeah, there was a fun Easter egg there along the way. Good luck finding that. Enjoy some discounts if you find your way down that rabbit hole. Thanks for watching along. This is, again, just the early days. Lucas Potato Cam for the win here, Eric says. All in all, a great, very useful tool. Looking forward to using it. Thanks for that, David. What else came in at the very last minute there? MT, good to have you here. You guys did great. Thanks a lot for your effort. I appreciate that a lot. So that's it. We've shown you the tool. We've given you the links below, and I guess I'm going to mute these other two here. I guess that's it for today's live show. Thanks for watching along. It's been fun to show off some new fun stuff. I'm excited about it, definitely. I have a lot of buttons to press here, and I realized that I put things in my way. Yeah, I'll see you. I'm doing a live stream every Monday here on the channel, so do join me every Monday around this time for chit chat about applications, video production, whatever pops up. Like I said, nice to have so many lovely people in the chat today with questions. Do pop on back next week whenever we'll do the same stuff again. Thanks for watching along. Let me see if I got my wide camera working. I do. Excellent. I can play my little credit roll here. Say thanks to all you for being here. I hope your faces show up and I did it right. But specifically to the supreme supporters of the channel, we have Jeremy, Revolution Light Sports, Marn, and Jim from Cloud Bedrock as well. Good to have all your faces in there as well. Alrighty, I'll see you in the next live stream next week. Bye. Yeah. Bye.